How has the move towards socialism in America occurred? In his film Agenda, Grinding Down America, Curtis Bowers gives us this explanation.
On the far left, you have 100% government, and on the far right, zero government. Anarchy is no government and doesn't make sense at all. On the far left, you have socialism, communism, and Nazism, all systems that have a socialist form of government with only slight variances between them. Traditionally, Republicans were slightly to the right of center, and Democrats were slightly to the left. In recent years, though, through the radical influence of the media, Hollywood, and the multitude of Marxist professors in our universities, both parties have slid to the left, with the Democrats going so far they have openly joined hand in hand with the radicals. That's why they all work together. All the groups on the left now have the same goal, a socialist America.
I thought we were over communism. I thought, okay, we won that battle. The Berlin Wall came down. Ronald Reagan won the day. We've got to look and see how he fought this, because we're fighting it again on American soil. Not hostilely attacking us like we feared in the Cold War. It is from within.
And it has no opposition, none. And that's the frightening thing.
Curtis, given our history in America, how have we allowed this to happen with our values? What's gone wrong?
I think several things have. One is it's happened through gradualism, so it's just been a little at a time. We keep battling on issues, and each time it seems to move one more little step to the left and one more little step. Like Saul Alinsky talked about, you keep there's change comes through the conflict. And the left is very good about just pounding us, demanding these things, and we finally stand up and say, no, we don't want that. But they say, okay, well, let's compromise then. And so we compromise and we move a little bit in their direction. And that's what's happened for the last 50 years. It's always been just little steps in their direction. But now we look at the America of the 50s or 60s as compared to today, and we've come so far. And I think a lot of it's been in the wrong direction. And
you know, too, that the left is very skilled at silencing people that are more conservative. They call us names. Epithets are used. And even if we know we're right, for some reason, there's something about conservatives, they don't like to be called names. And I can tell white people that pretty much you can expect to be called racist regardless of what you're doing. It's a very effective way to shut up white people. If there are legitimate conversations about immigration, all you have to say is nativist, xenophobe, and then the conversation ends and the left wins.
That's exactly right. And we've got to learn not to fear those attacks. If we have the truth, we need to stand for it, regardless of whether the political correctness says we can or not. Political correctness is an idea that was started by the Frankfurt School, which came to America in the 30s, and their whole thing was, it's really cultural Marxism. And they said, one of their leaders, Willie Munzenberg, said, our goal in coming to America is to make the West, quote, so corrupt it stinks.
Well, they're winning that battle.
They sure are.
Another thing I find very interesting, even in some of our churches, I hear them using the phrase social justice, using that concept, and I'm sure that most pastors have no idea that that's a Marxist concept. And it sounds great, it sounds wonderful. Who can be against social justice, yet there's, you know, just a whole political agenda hidden behind that little innocent concept.
Absolutely. They're masters of vocabulary. They take our own words we're familiar with, and use them against us. And then they know the Christian crowd is the easiest crowd of all to persuade. All they have to say is, oh, this is something Jesus would have been for. And so, oh, really? Okay, I'm for social justice then. Of course, Jesus did command us to go and be charitable to the poor and help them. And we should. But he didn't command the government to do that. When the government does it, there is no accountability, and it enslaves the poor people. When we do it as Christians and as Americans, help those in our local communities, there's that relationship there. And then there's accountability. And then there's change, and it actually helps them out of poverty to have a new life. And we've allowed the government to take that charity away from us and give it to them in a way that hurts them, because it's more convenient for us. We don't have to mess with them then, and it's sad.
And you know, we have reached the point where so many people have moved away from our Judeo values and principles, and it's hurting all Americans. It's not just hurting, you know, minorities, it's hurting our country as a whole. And I certainly hope that people who view your film will see it as an eye-opening opportunity, and they'll begin to share information with other people and actually begin to act on what's taking place.
That's my prayer too, is that they'll do that, because again, this country is the greatest thing going.
Okay.
And so we're hoping
We're
they'll
going
do
to
that.
talk, I'm sorry to cut you off. We're going to talk a little bit further with you in a minute. In just a moment, commentator Crom Carmichael, Dr. Logic, joins us with some thoughts about socialism in America.